let's talk our hospital systems, our healthcare system in America here. It's broken. But first, sorry, I'm all tangled up. So first, those of you who've been here for a while know that I've been on a health and fitness journey, healing the medical journey. That's how it all started. And then I've been wanting to be in the fitness field. I was in the fitness field for a little while, but I wanted to be in it on a different level, but things happened, and now that journey is also healing. So now I'm a fitness instructor. If you want to see what it's like being a fitness instructor in a bigger body, go hit the playlist, being a fitness instructor in a bigger body, and find out the whole journey. There's a lot of videos, but today I wanted to talk about, first of all, I tried to put this white cloth underneath to make it look better. It fell down. It didn't look better either. So just pretend it looks nice. I did, however, get this mirror. It's lighted. This part's here. This is lighted. But the thing is, the plug came broken, so when I tried to plug it in, sparks flew, and I almost electrocuted myself. I was like, no. I love the company, and the mirror's great. It's sturdy, it's hefty, it's heavy duty, it's probably like 5'3", 5'4", because it's almost as tall as me, and I'm 5'5", inches. And you can hang it on the wall, I'm using it on a stand. That was a total side note. They're sending me a new plug. Hopefully they're not sending the whole mirror. They said they were just going to send the new plug. But anyways, so, and I think, I wanted to let them know, because I was like, I want to make sure that this isn't happening to anybody else, because I was working with this brand. They're the same ones that did the chair. And I was like, I love the brand, and I would hate for anybody else to have this issue, so I want to make them aware. And they said nobody else had reported it, so hopefully it was just mine. But the hospitals, oh my gosh. So last week I now have a regular dentist. I didn't have a regular dentist. I just kind of went when I needed to. I have a regular dentist. They told me I'm doing really good with what I'm doing. Keep doing what I'm doing. So yeah, that was exciting. If you were curious as to what I do, I brush my teeth in the morning and at night. Oh my gosh, I still need to do that. I need to wash my face first. And then a lot of times I'll take a regular flosser and go through, and then I'll take a water flosser and go through. I don't think both are necessary. Mine, up until the last 6-ish months, I didn't really floss. But I was starting to get concerned that I was gonna lose all my teeth. I was being a little paranoid. And they said I do have a couple of cavities, but they're really small. It'll be easy fix. So I was getting really paranoid, and I'm like, I should probably start taking better care of my teeth and actually floss. And the water flosser has definitely helped, because for me, the flossing, getting in between these bottom teeth here is the issue, because I never had braces, and I probably should have, at least on the bottom. And I guess I still could, but I don't think that I would now. But on the bottom, to get the floss in there has been an issue, and it's always been such a hassle, and it hurts, because I end up pushing too hard down to get it in there. And it's just a complicated, it's not even that big of a deal, but I made a big deal out of it. And so, but now I'm trying to do better, and so cleaning all that really well. Hopefully this sound is working. I just realized I think the plug is backwards. Hold on. Okay. Side note, this shirt, I got this from the TikTok shop, and the jeans, the jewelry, the shirt, the chair, the mirror, all came from the TikTok shop. The microphone, everything came from the TikTok shop. Not the table. This one I bought before the TikTok shop existed, but everything else, guys, I have so many things. I have so many things that I've recently reviewed right in front of me too. I've gotten so many things from the TikTok shop. Tons of reviews if you're interested in TikTok shop product reviews. And there's been a few brands that obviously everything in front of me I love, because I'm still using it. There have been some brands that And there was one that I called out by name because they were so bad. And then they wanted to promote the video, and I was like, you didn't even watch a second of it, because the very first words out of my mouth were, do not buy this product. And the second sentence out of my mouth was, this person here is a horrible person to work with. Not that, but I said something very similar. And then they reached out to me wanting to promote the video, and I was like, you're kidding me right now, right? I just ignored it. And then they did it again, and I was like, I just said no. And they said okay. And I'm like, and then I blocked them because I was like, I can't deal with you anymore, because I had such a bad experience, which I think I talked about, was it last week? Not last week, 2 or 3 weeks ago. So if you go to the Being a Fitness Instructor in a Bigger Body playlist, 2 or 3 weeks ago, I know I should link it, but I had to let my editor take a break, so it's me dealing with this, and you get what you get. Because frankly, I am overwhelmed. I have so many things to update you on. Oh my gosh, so many things that I just forgot totally about. You know what? I think I'm going to do another video on that. Right now, I'm just going to talk to you about the healthcare system, and then I will talk to you about all the crazy things with agencies. It's been good. Yeah. Mostly good. It's been crazy, but good. Yeah, we'll talk about agencies in the next video, so be prepared for that. So the healthcare system. So the whole thing, all of this started with me trying to heal my healthcare journey, my healthcare, because my medical care hasn't been great. I haven't had great relationships with doctors, like as far as like patient-doctor relationships. Haven't been listened to. It's just been. I would rather die than go to the hospital. Like when I got COVID, I legitimately was on my deathbed, and I still didn't go to the hospital. Like, that's how bad it was. I almost went to the emergency room, but honestly, I was really, really thankful for Mullen, because that is what saved my life. Legitimately saved my life. Because that day I had popped up because I couldn't breathe. I was sleeping. I tried to sleep, and I popped up out of bed because I couldn't breathe. And I had to make it all the way through the house, up the stairs, and through the kitchen. I had to do it as fast as I could, but since I couldn't breathe, I also had to reserve the air that I did have, so I couldn't, like, run. Plus, I was so sick that I couldn't run anyways, so it was really bad. And by the time I got to the kitchen, and I'm not talking like, the being over dramatic, like I can't breathe, but really it's just like harder to breathe because you're stuffy or congested or whatever. I'm talking, I stopped breathing. I was not breathing this whole time that I was walking through, and I'm like, I might need to go to the emergency room if this medicine doesn't kick in within the next 30 seconds, because I still haven't taken a breath, and because I've made it through all the way through the house and I still can't take a breath. I was definitely very scared, and don't know how I didn't at least pass out, because it was very bad. Thankfully the Mullen, as soon as I took it was because I was like, I'm going to need to go to the emergency room, and I don't think I'm even going to make it to the hospital. Like, I don't even know if I'm going to make it to the car, let alone the hospital. Like, it's, like, as far as, like, surviving. And I was like, I guess you do have a little bit more time than that, but I don't think I would have made it to the hospital. So the Mullen, as soon as I took it, within 30 seconds it kicked in and I could take a breath. I was still struggling to breathe, but I could breathe, and it was bad. Anyways, my point is, although at that point, even now, I don't know that I would have done anything, because this was before it was here. Actually, that day might have been I think that, because I caught it a day or two before they announced that it was here, and then so when it was that bad, I think it was like 2 or 3 days in, 2.5 days in. And so I think that might've been the first day that they acknowledged that it was here. And so if I would have went to the hospital, the only thing that would have been able to be done is be intubated, because at that time they didn't know what to do for COVID. So honestly, probably wouldn't have changed that. But anyways, my point is, I've been, just not taken seriously, and basically told that things were in my head when I had serious problems, because I wouldn't even go to the doctor unless it was a really, really serious problem. Like one time I broke my foot and the doctor was like, oh, you need to stay off of it and just lose weight. They gave me an ace bandage and sent me on my way. I'm like, my foot is broken and I work 60 to 70 hours a week on my feet. What do you want me to do? And they're like, oh, just stay off of it. Well, how do you want me to do that? And that was all I got. And it was all just ace bandage. And I was just like, yeah. And they just blamed my weight. And I'm like, my weight? Yeah. And I was, 60 pounds heavier probably. But like, I was like, yeah, my weight's an issue. But the fact that I fell down and broke my foot because I slipped is an actual accident, not my weight. It's just been like one thing after another. Anytime that I've went to the doctor, like if I tell them about anything natural, like they just look at me like I'm completely crazy. So I don't actually even want to tell them what I'm doing, because then they sit there and go, well, why are you doing that? Stop doing that. You need to do this instead and take all these medications. And it's just like, they don't even want to listen to what I have to say. Like it's just like this frustrating thing where it's just been like this whole, anytime I've tried to get care, they don't actually help me. And so it's like, why bother? And I'm just like, I know this is a terrible attitude, because like I very much believe in the natural. It's hard to say because there's so many things that are natural that anyways. So like the more natural approach. But also I know that medical medicine is necessary as well. So it's like, I want both of these, but I have zero trust in the doctors in the medical field in general. And it has let me down so many times in the past. And because I'm a woman and overweight, the doctors don't want to listen to me. Like to the point that one of my doctor's visits, I was in there about my knee, and they forced me to do a blood test that I didn't need. First of all, there was no medical reason for me to have it. I was in there about a knee injury, because I had injured my knee, and I couldn't put weight on it right. And so I was in there to get that correct, to figure out what was wrong with it, to correct it, or do rehab if we couldn't figure out what was wrong with it. So like they forced me to do a blood test that I didn't want to do. And then, because I told him flat out, like, I don't want to do this, and like he backed me into the corner. Like this was a conversation, it wasn't a conversation. This was an argument for a solid few minutes. I don't even know. It felt like forever. That I was like, I don't want to do this. It's not necessary. We don't need to do this. And then everything came back fine. So I'm like I said, we didn't need to do this. I was so mad. So like, I'm hairy. Okay. So anyways, then when I went to leave, it was really interesting. I don't know how it came about, but like this instant when I went to leave, I almost passed out, to the point the nurse looked at me and goes, "Are you okay?" And I go, I'm just a little dizzy. I'm fine." And she's like, "Come back in here and see the doctor again." And I go, "Oh, no, I'm fine." I did not want to see that doctor again, nor even if it was a good circumstance, I would have been like, no, I'm fine. And she's like, no, you need to come back in here, sit down and see the doctor again, because you are not okay. And I was like, no, I don't want to. So I sat there, and he walked in the room and he's like, "What's wrong?" And I go, "I felt dizzy and almost passed out." And he goes, "Oh, are you okay now?" "Yeah." "Okay," and walked out. Like completely dismissive, like did not care in the least bit that I almost passed out. When the nurse is the one who sent me back in and was like, "You need to see the doctor right now. Like, you cannot wait." And I'm just like, it was bad, yes. And I know that I'm not alone in this experience, and it's just really frustrating, because that definitely, and that's like just one of many stories. Actually, over the last like 10 years, I really haven't even been, except for the 2 times over COVID when I was sick, because my job wouldn't let me take the time off I needed to heal. They needed a doctor's note, like I'm a little child. I hated that job. I hated that job so much. I'm so thankful to not have to work that anymore. Thank you for allowing that to be possible. Anyways, especially if you're going to go over to TikTok, because that's where most of my income comes from. But But anyways, so I decided, over the summer, my so over the summer is when my whole like weight loss journey began, like spring really. um because all these past 15 years of inner healing, then all of a sudden body cues worked, so diet wasn't really an issue. Like, I was just eating what I wanted, and like I wasn't wanting to overeat. Everything was fine, and I thought my aunt dying in June 2nd would throw all that off, because she went to the hospital, she got cancer and was in the hospital, and it was all like less than 3 weeks, and it was a whole thing, and that didn't. In fact, it like only got better. And then around that time that my aunt died was around the time I found Dr. Mike's videos, and he was talking about these books that he recommended, and I'm like, well, I've read those books. And he was talking about whole person care, so like the natural approaches, and as well as medical approaches, so holistic care, and just different things, like all these mindsets that I'm just like, I very much align with this. Wait, you mean to tell me that there are doctors out there who align with my mindset, then like I can actually have conversations with that will actually help me, and not just completely write me off? Even though prior to now, like, it took me pretty much dying to like even go into the hospital, and even then, like, I got to the point where I wouldn't go. So I was like, okay. And so like then the whole fitness, being in the fitness field, like that's where, because okay, so Carl I was looking, so at the same time I found Dr. Mike's content, I was looking for an indoor pool so I could do my swim classes all year round. And I found Carl, and I was like, no, I don't want to go there. And at that point, I was just looking at going to a gym. I wasn't looking to, going to a gym in the fall, because this was still summer, so I was still taking my summer classes. And so anyways, so I found Carl, and I was like, no. And so like that was the beginning of healing my medical journey, because like now I actually work with physicians, and I work at Carl, and I work with we partner with physicians, not me personally, but we partner with physicians to give patients whole person care, preventative and the medical side of things. And so it's like, I'm like, you mean to tell me this thing that I'm so passionate about and want so desperately, and didn't know what to do about, I'm now part of the solution? Like, what? Okay, anyways, my point is, well, I have a lot of points, but the healthcare system, it's so frustrating, because yes, there are definitely doctors like that. I have a sports medicine doctor. He's a DO, and he very much has a similar mindset. He recommended the doctor, because he doesn't do primary care anymore. He recommended the doctor that I had an appointment with today. But here's the thing: our system is screwed up, and this is a gigantic hospital, and it's not the one that I work at, because there are quite a lot of them, and this one is massive. And the buildings are not there's like 5 different buildings, and they're not labeled well. You have no idea what's in them. It's like medical building 1, medical building 2. There is the emergency room, and like there's like I don't even remember if the other 2 even had anything on them. Anyways, the buildings, like, I'm like, what does medical building 1 have in it? What does conference center. And I'm like, definitely don't want the conference center. And I'm like, what does medical building 1 means? Nothing. And I'm like, they told me the suite number, so I figured that it would be clearly labeled somewhere outside, not realizing that, because I thought it was like one of, like, you know how like it's usually like one building, and there's quite a lot of offices, but it's not so big. Like, you just walk in that building and you can pretty much figure it out pretty much right away. Well, this was like multiple buildings, and I got there 10 minutes. Okay, so I was supposed to get there 15 minutes early, and I got there about 10 minutes prior to that, 15 minutes prior to that maybe. So I was like 30 minutes early. But when I got there, I drove around for a while, and it was like right when I was supposed to be there for the 15-minute early slot that I called, and I was like, I don't know where I'm going. And then nobody answered, and I'm just like, what am I supposed to do? So I just sat in the parking lot and cried because I was like, this is frustrating. It was hard enough to even make the appointment in the first place. And first of all, like, I have had so many obstacles to even get to the appointment. So it was hard enough to even make the appointment because I had tried to go to my sports medicine doctor, but found out, and I don't know why my insurance let me do that, because he doesn't do primary care anymore. And so then I had to, but even getting to the right person, like talk to the right person and all of that, it took me calling multiple different buildings, and it was a whole thing. And then getting the appointment with this doctor, I had to wait a month and a half, so, which I didn't go, and I didn't call them back because I'm just like, I'm too frustrated today. And then finally, I was like, after I pulled myself together, I was like, my appointment is right now. If I walk in the building, or it may have been like a couple minutes before my appointment, but it was like, if I walk in in one of the buildings, hoping for the best, even if it is in that building, I will be at least 15 minutes late, because walking even to the building was going to be at least 6-7 minutes, and then walking to wherever they were going to direct me was going to be another probably 4 or 5 minutes. And that was if I picked the right building. If I didn't pick the right building, it was going to be 15 minutes at least. And so I'm just like, even if I try to go in there, they're not going to accept me because I'm late, even though I was here a half an hour early. And so it basically, like, an hour went by before, because I was like still trying to, at that point I was still trying to figure it out. And I was like, because like I didn't want to walk in and like go through all that just to walk back out, but I was like still trying to like drive around and figure out, because nothing was clearly labeled except for the emergency room, which that's good, but I'm just like, everything else should be clearly labeled too. You should at least say what are in the, like, if somebody's, it was so frustrating. So an hour, and I'm finally like, I can't try, because, oh yeah, that's what it was. So I tried for another, because at the point where I knew where I was like, I'm 15 minutes late to my appointment, they're not going to accept me. I was like, let me drive around a little bit to try and figure out where I'm supposed to go, so that when I come back, I will know where to go and I won't have this issue. I will still come earlier than early, but like, I'm not going to have the same issue. By the time I was like, I can't do this anymore. And it was like an hour and 10 minutes or something like that I had tried to find this, and I was just like, this is so frustrating, and they still hadn't called me back. And finally, about an hour after my appointment was supposed to be, they called me back, and apparently it wasn't even their fault. Apparently, so the number that I called was the number so they like sent me an automated message saying, here, do a virtual check-in. That way, like, I guess filling out the paperwork, some of the paperwork or whatever, online before you go in. And so they're like, fill this out, do a virtual check-in, and then you can just like say, I'm here when you come in tomorrow. So I did that, and then at the end, they're like, if you have any questions, call this number. That number was triage. Are you freaking kidding me right now? I know that because when they called back and left a message, that's what they said I called triage, and I was like, you kidding me right now? Why would they give anybody the triage number to call if they have... I was like, this is messed up. And that doesn't even touch on the insurance and issues. And I'm not even blaming the doctors for this one. I'm like, I was so frustrated that I was like, I don't even want to go even try to reschedule an appointment. But I'm like, well, it's not the doctor's fault. And I'm only punishing myself if I don't go, because it was just a checkup. But I was just like, this was the first time I was actually trying to take care of my health, and I've had to jump through so many obstacles that I'm like, is this like a sign that this is not the right path? Or is this sometimes, like, you are so on the right path that just 5 million obstacles come at you all at once, and it just, like, I'm like, which one is it? I think it's the second one right now, but oh my gosh. And that, yeah, like I said, that's not even touching on our insurance and the medical bills and like all of those things and co-pays and the insane complexity and confusion not only patients have, but the doctors too. And like, that's part of it too, is because the doctors don't even know how to prescribe the correct medicine. They know how to prescribe the correct medicine, but the correct formula, for lack of better, like if a soft gel versus a solid tablet, whatever. I don't know medical terms. But anyways, like one the insurance covers and one the insurance doesn't. Like there's just like so many nuances, and like every insurance company is different, and there's private, and they're all so different that like nobody can track anything very well, and like one, there's a lack of accountability, so they typically do try to overcharge you. And like I said, this is not the doctors and the nurses' fault. They have no control over that, and they don't even know themselves half the time because it's so complex and confusing. So like that's a whole nother issue of its own. But anyways, so like I'm just like, this is the needing medical help in the first place is a hard enough thing, let alone having to go through all of this insanity. It's so frustrating, and I'm like, whatever system this hospital is using, they need a different one, because the system to like organize things, I'm talking, is not working well, because this should not have been such a big issue. This should have been fairly easy. At least giving the person the right phone number. Anyways, and like I said, like I'm not blaming anybody for it. I'm blaming the system itself, because that's really what it boils down to. So, I'm still on my journey. I'm still on my journey of healing I'm still on my medical healing journey. But we have no solutions right now. I have been to the dentist, and I'm going back next month to get the things fixed, and then I'm going back for cleanings and all that stuff. The doctor, I have a regular doctor. I have a sports medicine doctor and a primary care doctor, so yay! I just have to actually see the doctor, but I think it's going to be another month and a half before I get to see her, because that's how long it took the first one to get the first appointment. It's probably how long it's going to take again. The medical thing is just frustrating. And then there's all the forms and things that you have to fill out, and I get why, but it's just like there's so much and so many hurdles, and like the system is just very broken. That's all there is to it. Anyways, I believe in you. Dream big, take action. Bye.